Welcome or welcome back. My name is Erica McDaniel and I'm an independent Stamp It Up demonstrator. First, I would like to say Happy New Year. And if you would, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to know what you think about my video. Today, I am featuring the Enduring Beauty stamp set from the new January through April mini catalog. This is one of my favorite stamp sets from this set because first of all, I don't like to color a lot, and this comes with dies. It comes with a set of dies, so you can use your brushes to color in, but that's not it. It also comes with die cuts, so you can cut out your image there. So that's why it's my favorite stamp set, because I can use the brushes to color that in or whatever, and then I have dies to cut this out. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the card. I really enjoy that. And the colors that I'm going to be using are Pebble Path, Bubble Bath, Garden Green, Lemon Lolly, and Boho Blue. Now, Boho Blue and Pebble Path are from our 2023 to 2025 in colors, and Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly are new to our catalog this year. So it'd be fun working with those colors. Okay. And so we're going to make a standard A2 book fold card, and that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We need a piece 5.5 by 4 1/4 for the flower. This piece is actually 5.5 by 4.5, but we're going to use it to emboss the front piece that's under the flower, and also for the sentiment there. And the inside, standard inside, 5.5 by 4, and the DSP is from the Be Mine collection in the new January through April in color. This is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and it's a lovely piece of paper, and I really hate to cut the back. See those lovely bees? And so I cut it down to 6 by 6 to work with this project. So if you want to take a look at that, those are the measurements there. Okay. So first we're going to stamp our image on the 5.5 by 4 1/4 stamp set. And this is the image here. And a tip that I want to show you to make it easier when you're using the masking dies. The masking dies is 5 dies, and they're numbered 1 through 5. Has a notch and a quarter in the corner to help you line it up. But on the image, it has 3 flowers right here. And if you stamp those going straight up, it'll help you better line up on your masking dies, because this is with the 3 flowers going up. So that's how I have it labeled, laid on my block there. And I'm going to use Pebble Path. This is a really nice color to step this image. Unlike the black, it's not as harsh or dark, and I'm using softer colors for the spring. So that's why I chose Pebble Path there. And this is the largest block in our collection. It has the block number here. I can't see it right now, but okay. You want to ink that good. I want to give it another inking, because this is a one-shot thing. So let me tap it out again and ink it up. Okay. Okay, here we go. The 3 corners are up. Okay, give it a good pressing. Voila! That's good. That middle didn't come out as good as I want, so I'm going to do it again. This is magic paper, y'all, so we're going to flip this over. We're going to do it again. Going to stamp that up. Make sure you get all of your corners and everywhere. And see if we can get a better image this time. And the image last time was good. It was the middle that didn't have quite enough ink on it. Okay. Give that a good pressing. Much better, much better. And you see I got some smudges there. That's fine because this image is going to be die cut. So I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. And next, you want to get some washi tape or some other low contact tape because we want to tape this down to keep it from moving around while we're using our brushes to color it. So I'm just going to put a little tape on the corner here. And even though these are numbered 1 through 5, feel free to use whatever order you like because this is your project. This is your design. So feel free to do what you would like to do. And so now I'm just kind of lining it up with the flower image. There, I'm just looking at the outline, making sure I have the outlines kind of lined up there. And get that in really good. There we go. There we go. And then I get some more washi tape here. Whoops. I should have had the washi tape ready. Then it wouldn't have slid like that. This right here. You want to tap that in the corner. And you can see it's almost straight up and down. It's a little off center, but that's fine. You're just basically trying to get some ink down. And if you notice by the flower we're doing, I'm using 3 different colors. So that means I have to mask off some of the flower so it won't bleed into the other image. Like this flower is going to be blue, and this one is going to be blue. So I don't want the blue to bleed into here. And this one is yellow. So I will do, let's do the pink first. We're going to do these 2 images here. And you want to be really careful with the inside, these little pieces right here, because these are really delicate. And gonna put a piece here. It shouldn't be in the way, but just in case, I'm gonna put it here. And this first coat is, I want it to be very light, so I'm just gonna tap off most of it. And this is Bubble Bath. I'm gonna tap off most of it. And I just want a little bit of color on here. Kind of start off, because the lighter the color, you're going to see the contrast when you put on the second coat. And Bubble Bath is already a light color. And you see I'm not re-inking it, inking the brush, because I want that first coat to be really light. Trying to get this corner right here, okay? There. And now I'm going to go in with the blue. You can see the contrast. Some are darker than others, but those are like flowers in nature. Let me close this up before I get ink everywhere. And this is Boho Blue. And the same premise. We're going to tap most of it off because I want this first coat, and see, I started off the mask to be just light. I just want to get a little bit of color on the flower because I want that contrast to really pop since I'm using the same color to contrast. Okay, and that's it. And then here is the yellow. Close this up. I am determined to get ink all over me. Okay. And the lemon lolly is a really light color anyway. But see, I kind of went in heavy there. Oops, that's fine. Just kind of move that ink around. Okay. And so basically on that first layer, I just want to get some ink down. Not very much because I'm using the same color. So I want to see that contrast there. And this is our first mat. We're going to reuse the washi tape on the second mask. And take these up. Okay, I want to be careful there. And the mask, you can use a baby wipe or your chamois to clean that up. And this is mask number 2. And these are for the leaves here. I'm going to line that up here. And I'm just making sure that I get all the leaves in the image. And I tack that back down because I don't want my mask sliding all over the place. And I have 3 little flowers here. Those I want to be in the lemon lolly. And so what I will do is mask this off because I don't want the green on there. I have 3. I have to remember that. Go right here. And this one I really don't need. And so I just use the ink from the last and kind of lay that on there. Mind you, this is the first coating. Even though these are the leaves, these are I need a little more lemon lolly. Even though these are the leaves, this is the first coat for the leaves. So you want to use the same principle as you did for the first, just lightly going in. Okay. So I have that down. Now I want to mask off the yellow that I just did because I don't want to get the green in there. And because you've already put ink down on the mask, it makes the washi tape a little harder to stick there. So just be mindful of that. So I will color the ones that are closer to the little flowers first. Like this one over here. And I will take this up. I'm trying to get in just a little corner there. And I'm being careful not to hit the yellow flower too much. Okay. And then I'm just lightly brushing these. Mainly using the ink that's already on the brush to kind of brush those in. And that's it for that second mask. And you can see the image is starting to come to life there. That's the second one. And the 3 is the more detailed of the flowers. This is where you really will see the contrast. And because these are, if you look, these are much smaller pieces in here, you really want to be gentle when you're brushing and using those because you want your mask to keep your mask as long as possible. So you want to be gentle there and not to damage your mask. And I'm just kind of lining it up with a big flower, making sure I have the contrast pieces there. There we go. Okay, I believe that is good there. And sometimes people do the contrast piece first because that can be the darker color and you can see the darker color better. But like I said, Stamp It Up put the numbers on there as suggestions, but these are yours and you can do what you want. So I want to do the blue first. No, the pink. I'm masking the blue down first so I can work with the pink or the bubble bath. And then I have Lemon Lolly over here. And I'm just masking these pieces off so as not to have the ink bleed into the others. And this, you want to really load up your brush really well. And Bubble Bath is already a light color in itself. So you really have to work and really get in there to get that darker contrast color for Bubble Bath. And that's why I went so light on the first one, because these are, except for a Boho Blue, that's a deep, rich color. But Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly, they're on the lighter side. Okay, I believe that's good. Okay. Then I'll do the Boho Blue. Kind of peel that up. Like I said, because it already has ink down, that's why it's not sticking very well. Let me get another piece of, let's just get a fresh piece of tape. Kind of put that down right there. And this I'll just hold. No, I think I will get a fresh piece of tape here. This one, Boho Blue is a rich color. So you get to see that goes on really deep right there. Okay. And this one right here. I'm just, because my washi tape came up on that side, I'm just being careful, really careful not to hit that pink or a bubble bath. And then here, Lemon Lolly is like Bubble Bath, and it's a light color anyway. So I want to load up my brush really, really well to get that contrast. I want that contrast. And you can see it really starting to pop. Okay. Isn't that lovely? You could see the contrast there, the two tones of the bubble bath and the boho blue. Even with the lemon lolly there, you can see the contrast. And so that is really nice. And we're using mask number 4. And these are for the leaves and the 2 little yellow flowers that I did. I'm getting excited. Taking that first mask off and seeing that when you do the contrast and seeing that, that's really exciting. Okay, lining that up. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but you can use that notch as a guide. If you're using a bigger piece of paper, like you see, I wouldn't say struggle, but takes longer to line up the image. If you have a bigger sheet of paper and you mark the notch, you can come in and line up all of your notches on that same knot, that same, marking that you made. And that'll be easier too. And I want to mask off. I want to do the yellow images first, or the lemon lolly images first to get that done. And remember, this is the contrast, so you really want to load up your brush because you want to see that contrast. See how deep and rich that's coming in? And that's because you see that contrast on there. That is so pretty. It's rich. And now I want to get the, oh gosh. Let me open this up. I want to fill in the flowers that are closer to the images that I just did. And garden green is like boho blue in that it's a rich color. So it doesn't take much ink to make those really pop. You can already see the garden green coming through. And a different contrast there. I want to take this up and peel that back just ever so slightly, because I have my yellow flower there and I don't want to hit it too much. I'm sure it's going to be some bleed over, but I just want to minimize that as much as possible. And because all of these images depend on you, how heavy you are with the brush, your taste, your desires, all of these are going to be distinctive and made into your likings. Make sure we got all the images there. And we take this up. Oh, let me close this out before I have ink everywhere. Isn't that lovely? Let me peel this up so you can get a better look at this. So you see the contrast there on the images and everything? That is beautiful. The darker shadings and everything. And it's also a mask number 5. If you're just using the mask and not the stamp set, these are the different insides of the flowers that you will line up there. But because I used a stamp set, I didn't use this mask, or I could. But I am going to hit it a little bit with some Wink of Stella. Those insides there. Just to give it a little, you know, a little something extra. And then I am this large image here. This will be used to cut out the die here, the flower here. You see it? Oh, that's almost perfect how that lined up. And so that's why I said that smudge wasn't very important because we're cutting out this image, so this will be fine. So I'm going to take this to the cutting machine and be right back. So I die cut that, and see, that is so pretty. Look at that. You don't have to be a master colorer, which I'm not, to cut this out. So next we're going to move on to our next pieces. We have to do the front. This is for the inside, so we're setting that to the side. This piece right here, the piece is 5.5 by 4.25, but we're going to cut it down to 4.25 by 4, and we're going to emboss this front cover right here, and then the remainder we're going to use for our cinnamon. Okay, so let me get my so this piece of paper is already 4.25 wide. So all I want to do is already the width of the front of the card. So now I just want to cut it down to 4. Right there. And you have these two pieces. This piece we're going to use to emboss, and this piece we're going to use for our cinnamon. I keep saying that word wrong. And the embossing folder we're using today is coming from the Softly Sophisticated bundle. This is a Sale-a-bration item, and Sale-a-bration runs from January to February. And what that means is with a $100 purchase, you can get the stamp set, which this is a cinnamon I'm using, hello there, and the embossing folder for free. This is a great value. So look at this. And I wanted to, this is a 3D embossing folder. So depending on the embossing machine you're using, you're either going to have a blue plate or a dark gray plate. And because these have directions there, you want to be mindful of how you line this up. You want to make sure your paper is straight. And I use this line at the bottom as a guide to line that up very straight. And then I'm going to take this over to my embossing machine and get this embossed. So I have that embossed. You see all the sides are more or less straight there. So you want to really be mindful and use that guide there. And this piece here, this is coming from the Softly Sophisticated bundle, as I mentioned, the Sale-a-bration item. I'm using hello there to stamp that image, to stamp that greeting. I'm inking that up. And I want it in the middle of the page there. There you go. Hello there. And I like that greeting because it's so universal. You can use it, hello there, I hope you're feeling well, hello there. Just, you can use it forever, whatever. And the die that I'm using to cut out the greeting is from the Paper Pumpkin. So all you Paper Pumpkin subscribers, this will be available. This is currently available now, but it coordinates with the January through March Paper Pumpkins. So it has this die, which is a great label die, flower, leaf, and love. So this is a great die to pick up. And it goes over the sentiment there. See, over the greeting there. And I cut that out through the magic of TV. There you go. Hello there. The final piece is the DSP from the Beeline pack of paper. And remember, I told you I cut this down to a 6x6 piece of paper. And now I will cut it to 5.5 by 4.5. And as you know, that is the standard card front. 5.5 by 4.25. And you want to save this piece right here because we're going to use that for an inside. You get those two pieces there. In your card base, I use liquid glue to get that done because you want to give yourself some wiggle room. And voila, you have that there. You want to I use liquid glue to give it some wiggle room in case there's an error. And I also kind of open it up to line it up really good there. And so the same here, the piece here, I use liquid glue, or I can use Tumball. But I find liquid glue easier. Whenever I'm going with the width of a piece of paper, I use liquid glue. That makes it easier for the line up there. And you want to put this probably in the, kind of eyeball it, but in the middle of the page. Okay. And your flower. Now, there's no right or wrong way of how you put your flower on here. But I just kind of place it on here like so. And I'm using dimensionals. I'm using the black dimensionals. No rhyme or reason why. But I'm using the black dimensionals. And I'm using quite a few because this is a larger image here. And I want to make sure it stays in place. Especially at the corners there. I don't know about you, but I have dimensional backings everywhere. Be out and about and a dimensional backing will fall off me. So I kind of line it up here. Okay. Cool. There you go there. Slide my dimensionals to the side. Slide them to the side. And the hello there. And part of it is going to be on the flower and some of it is going to be hanging off. So I will put a little tape. Well, let me just, I haven't gotten that started. Put a liquid glue on one side. And then I put a dimensional on the other. You can either put a dimensional over here so you know exactly where you go. And that's what I'll do there. I'll put a dimensional there. And so there I'm not concerned about, ooh, it's running off the page. There you go. Okay. And the last is you have to get some embellishment. And these are from the new catalog too. And this is from the Hottest Air Balloon Suite. And these are beautiful colors. There's 8 colors in here. But I'm going to use the Lemon Lolly for my colors. And I kind of went, got a little happy here. I wanted dimensionals, not dimensionals, but embellishments everywhere. So that's 2. And especially when you're theory, you're supposed to use odd numbers. So I can't stop at 2. That's not odd. Can't stop at 2. Get this up. And I want one here. And then a couple more dimensionals. I keep saying dimensionals. That's because I just used dimensionals. Put one here. I want it in the ridge of the embossing folder. Because if it's on the raised part, it could come off. And one here. And there you go. That's the front of the card. But wait, there's more. We can't, the card isn't finished without an inside. And remember that piece you cut off from the larger piece? We're going to use that, tape it, put it in right here. And what I will do is, instead of putting liquid glue on this piece, I will put liquid glue here. Because there I know exactly where it's going to go. There's no messes, no oopsies or anything. And I line that up. And I will cut this piece off right here. Let me grab my scissors and cut this off. Okay. So I have my scissors. And I cut from the back. You know exactly where you're cutting from. There you go. Been using liquid glue the entire time, so let's finish it off with some more liquid glue. There we go. Slide that in. And there you go. Here. And I also made a different one, but with the same stamp set. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, this is my favorite stamp set out of the new mini catalog, and that's because it has dies and it has masks and everything. So please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.